Hello there, thanks for joining us on a cold winter morning in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. In this video, we're going to be talking to you about how you can come to Canada as an investor, as somebody who has a company that is currently operating outside Canada and you're wanting to establish a related entity inside Canada, a branch of that company inside Canada, and use that as a means to get to Canada initially and to become a Canadian permanent resident. And so today we're going to be talking to you about the intra-company transferee startup option. All right, so please stay with us. We'll have much more on this after the break. And as always, remember to subscribe to our channel so you can get more videos like this video, so others will see more videos like this. And check us out on our website at go.gooselaw.com. I'll be right back. Hi there, welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis and I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer, and I help skilled workers who are inside Canada and outside Canada to become Canadian permanent residents without having to deal with all of the complicated immigration rules that are part of that process. In this video, we're going to be focusing a bit on investors, specifically investors who already have an operation, they have a business in their home country, and they're looking to establish an entity, a related entity inside Canada. So if you're operating a business inside the US or inside your home country in India or somewhere in Africa, and you are wanting to set up another branch of that entity inside Canada, then you may be able to do so under a program known as the Intra-Company Transferee Program, the Ict Startup. Now, broadly speaking, the Ict program exists for companies that already have an operation outside Canada and they're wanting to set up a new an entity, a related entity inside Canada. It allows them to do so, and then by doing so, they're then able to transfer employees from the entity in their home country to the newly created, or rather to the existing entity inside Canada. Of course, there are some basic requirements that must be met, but broadly speaking, that's what the Ict program is, right? And the Ict program is possible because of international agreements that exist between Canada and multiple countries, most likely including your home country. And so, broadly speaking, that's what the intra-company transfer program is. Now, if you are operating a business, a company in your home country, but you don't yet have an operation inside Canada, you don't have a Canadian operation, then there is an option that's going to be available for you, and this is known as the Ict Startup Option, okay? The Ict Intra-Company Transferee Startup Option. Now, the Startup Option allows persons who have an entity outside Canada and who are wanting to create a Canadian operation to do so by going ahead and incorporating, starting a Canadian business that will eventually operate as a related entity, an entity that's related to your entity that you're currently in your home country. And then by doing that, you are then going to be able to transfer an employee, whether that employee is yourself or somebody else, to Canada to work on a work permit initially, and then eventually that person may likely qualify for Canadian permanent residency. Now, there are a number of things that you will want to take into consideration when you're contemplating the Ict Startup option. For instance, you will need to have a Canadian address. Well, first of all, you need to incorporate your business, right? You need to get it incorporated inside Canada. And this is something you can get assistance with from a lawyer inside Canada. It's not overly complicated, but you need to incorporate, you need to set up the Canadian entity. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you need to have a business plan that's going to, well, first of all, you're going to be including that business plan in the application. And the business plan must be solid enough to convince the immigration authorities that your business is financially healthy enough to sustain itself in Canada, to pay the employees that you're going to be planning to hire, and that ultimately it's going to be a viable business. So you will need to create a business plan that is going to address all of these concerns, and that's going to show the authorities that this is a viable, profitable business that will do well in Canada, and importantly, that will be able to compensate the employee or employees who will be transferred to Canada through this particular startup. So that's critical. You need to have that sorted out in advance. Of course, there are certain basic requirements that the person who's being transferred will need to meet. You need to have been employed with the company outside of Canada for at least 1 year in the last 3 years, for instance, and that employment might have been in the form of, it must be full-time, and it might have been in the form of working as a contractor, or it might have been working as an employee on a payroll, but you must have been employed for at least 1 year in the last 3 years. So that's going to be crucial. The employee who's being transferred here may either be a managerial employee, somebody who's a manager and who performs managerial duties, or it might be somebody who's more specialized, somebody who has what's called specialized knowledge, somebody whose expertise is so unique and so specialized that it is difficult to find somebody with similar skills inside Canada. So those are the two broad categories that persons may be able to come to Canada under the Ict Startup Option. But ultimately, if you are a business owner outside of Canada, you're operating a successful business, and you see an opportunity to set up a Canadian branch, a Canadian affiliated entity that you are satisfied is also going to do well, then that may be a means through which you may be able to make the move to Canada, initially on a work permit, and eventually through points that you'd have gotten from the job offer provided to you by the Canadian employer, the Canadian entity, the related entity in Canada. By virtue of that, you have the option of becoming a Canadian permanent resident. So I trust you found value from this. As always, remember, hit the subscribe button, like this video so others may see more videos like this, and check us out on our website at go.gooselaw.com. Thank you. See you again.